The technology behind airplanes needs to change. Many people had high hopes for the Boeing 787, which was supposed to be much more efficient than its predecessors. However, it didn't work out as well as people had hoped. Elon Musk just showed off the Tesla helicopter, which will change that. But how will that helicopter make a difference in the business world? Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel. In this video, we will tell you about Tesla's new helicopter. But before we start our video, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon as well. The effect of flying on climate change is a big reason why electric aircraft are being made. And some development teams are trying to make an electric powertrain with no emissions. Noise pollution from airplanes makes it hard to sleep, keeps kids from going to school, and may raise the risk of heart disease. Because airports use a lot of fuel and chemicals to keep planes from freezing, they can pollute nearby water sources if they are not properly contained. In the United Kingdom, transportation is now a bigger source of pollution than making electricity. This includes the 4% that came from the airline industry. This is expected to keep growing until 2050, when the number of passengers may have to be limited. The UK Committee on Climate Change says that UK's goal of cutting emissions by 80% from 1990 to 2050 is still possible as of 2019. However, the committee recommends that emission targets in the Paris Agreement be made stricter. They think that emissions from bad industries like aviation should be made up for getting rid of the greenhouse gases, capturing and storing carbon, and planning stress. In December 2020, the UK Climate Change Committee said mitigation options being considered include demand management, improvements in aircraft efficiency, including the use of hybrid electric aircraft, and the use of sustainable aviation fuel to replace fossil jet fuel. The UK's carbon budget will include international air travel and shipping, and the UK hopes that other countries will do the same. Electric planes don't pollute the air, and power can be made from clean energy sources. Even with packaging and extra parts, lithium-ion batteries have a density of 160 Wh/kg, while aviation gasoline has a density of 12,500 Wh/kg, compared to a gas turbine's 6,545 Wh/kg of fuel. Electric machines and converters are more efficient, resulting in a 45:1 ratio of available shaft power. Collins Aerospace says that electric propulsion can be used for long-range aircraft because of this 1:50 ratio. By November 2019, the German Aerospace Center said that the big electric planes would be ready by 2040. Electricity probably won't be added to big, long-distance planes until 2070 or the 21st century, but smaller planes can be. The UK's Committee on Climate Change doesn't know when big changes in technology will happen, but Roland Berger predicts that there will be 80 new electric aircraft programs between 2016 and 2018. Two-thirds of the smaller aircraft will be all electric, and the larger ones will be hybrid or all electric. Commercial service is expected to begin in the early 2030s on short-haul routes like London to Paris, but all-electric aircraft won't be ready until 2045. Berger says that by 2050, aviation will be responsible for 24% of the CO2 emission if fuel efficiency only improves by 1% per year and there are no electric or hybrid aircraft. This number drops to 3 to 6% if 10-year-old aircraft are replaced by electric or hybrid aircraft because of rules starting in 2030 and reaching 70% of the 2050 fleet by 2050. The current fleet of planes, on the other hand, would lose a lot of value as a result, so the aviation industry will soon have no choice but to switch to electric power. How do electric planes work? We'll explain how they work in most basic way. Some ways to get the needed electricity are through photovoltaic solar cells that directly turn the sunlight into electricity, microwave radiation shot from a faraway transmitter, and power cables connected to an electrical supply on the ground. A solar cell directly turns light into electricity, which can be used right away or saved for later. Solar cells produce only a small amount of power and must be connected in large groups, which limits how they can be used. Smaller panels with a conversion efficiency of 15 to 20% produce about 150 to 200 Wm² when they are in direct sunlight. Between 2010 and 2020, the price of solar power modules fell by 90%, and they are still going down at a rate of 13 to 50% per year. Solar cell efficiency has also gone up a lot. It was only 2% in 1955, but it was 20% in 1985, and some experimental systems were already about 44%. Solar power is interesting for long distance, high altitude applications because the sun shines all the time and is much more effective there than on the ground because of the cold and less air. The average drop in dry air temperature as altitude goes up is 6.49 degrees Celsius per kilometer, which pilots learn to remember as 1.98 degrees Celsius per 1,000 feet or 3.56 degrees Fahrenheit per 1,000 feet. This means that the temperature at a typical airline cruising altitude of around 35,000 feet, that is 11,000 meters, will be much cooler than at ground level. When night flying, such as on long-distance flights or planes that fly over an area 24 hours a day, it's usually necessary to have a backup power system that is charged during the day with extra power and gives power at night. For power beaming electromagnetic radiation like microwaves, you need a power source on the ground. On the other hand, power beaming lets the plane move sideways and has a much smaller weight penalty, especially as the altitude goes up. The method has only been tested on small scales, and it is still in its early stages. A power line can be connected to a power source on the ground, like an electric generator or the local power grid, so that powered vehicles can take the place of aerostats that are tethered to the ground. This was used by the Patrozzi Karman Eurowic PKZ-1 observation vehicle in 1917. It got rid of the need to carry batteries at low altitudes. But as it gets higher, the length of rope it pulls up gets heavier. Tesla airplane ideas. Elon Musk has shown interest in a concept design for an electric plane called Tesla Model V. The CEO of the company that makes electric cars shares his thought on the Twitter. Tom Abbott-Davies, a British industrial engineer, came up with the idea. EVTOL News says that the design is based on the look of the manta ray and can carry one person. When Blue BND posted a description of the plane on Twitter, Musk said, "Looks pretty cool. There are 3 ducted fans with titanium turbine blades that can fly vertically. The back fan is mounted on a gimbal, so it can also fly forward. All of this is stabilized by gyroscopes so that the flight will be smoother." One lithium-ion battery powers each of the 3 motors. There is a 1,250 kilowatt rear motor and 2 650 kilowatt brushless motors with rotor blades. All of these add up to scattered electric propulsion, which means that the plane may still be able to land safely even if one part breaks. The retractable landing gear is hidden from wave on the outside by a carbon fiber underbody. It has a magnesium fuselage, a titanium shell, and a white canopy with 2 seats. The helicopter idea is the other one that has been suggested. The Tesla helicopter is both a physical and a spiritual representation of the company. It was made at a time when Tesla's batteries could power large manned flying vehicles. The helicopter, which is made to be fast and efficient, would be perfect for safety and patrol agencies. It would allow the government to keep an eye on both the air and the ground and send help in an emergency. It has a top rotor with 5 blades instead of the usual 2 or 3. There is meant to help the helicopter gain lift force more gradually and avoid turbulence when going up or down. From these concept photos, the cockpit looks like it's completely closed, but we expect Tesla to add technology that will allow a cover or shield to be put on top of the cockpit. This will let the pilot switch from seeing the wave directly to seeing it through a video feed. This could be very helpful if you have to fly the helicopter in a snowstorm, a sandstorm, or a really bad rainstorm. The general exoskeleton-like structure around the fuselage of the helicopter seemed to be there for stability, as do the two smaller fins on either side, which look like those on fixed-wing aircraft but are much smaller. In 2021, he tweeted with emojis for the last two words, "I'm so dying to do a supersonic electric VTOL jet, but adding more work will make my brain explode." Mr. Musk has already said that he wants to build an electric plane when he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he has also talked about a plane. He said, "I have a plane for an airplane." A supersonic electric jet that can take off and land vertically would be a fun thing to do. The idea would use two different ways to move the plane, one to get it off the ground and into the air, and the other to move it forward at supersonic speeds. Musk said again that the electric planes was not more important than other things. "We had a lot of fish to fry here, so maybe one day the electric plane." After talking about how hard it would be to solve the problem of battery density, Musk said, "It would be fun to work on it at some point, but we have a lot to do in the next few years, so we need to pay attention to these things. Get them right, maybe he will do that one day. The Tesla airplane might not be so far away after all." That's all we have for today. If you enjoyed watching this video, give it a like and share your waves in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.